Hello, welcome back with my Uke, Waverly Harden. So today we're going to go over some guard retention concepts off of like knee cut situations, pretty much any general like pass where they try to go through or around the legs, this concept can work. That is a concept that I learned years ago from Keenan Cornelius. He calls it pancake guard. With some slight adjustments, we can make the pancake guard work in no-gi as well. Now first, let me just discuss what that concept is. So in the gi, what he kind of talks about is this cross rip system here. And as they go to pass your guard, he would let you flan out. As they would go to behind you, right, he would just, go ahead, try to avoid getting his back taken when they wouldn't have hooks and start to fight and get back to a neutral position. Now, we can also take that concept into no-gi a few different ways. Now, first we'll look at when they have like a knee through the middle, maybe I was playing half guard, right, and they start getting into a knee cut, is if I feel that they're about to slice through my guard, I actively start looking for this grip. Okay, usually if they already score an underhook and my frames are no longer working, now I start getting to this cross wrist position here. Now, as she goes to pass my guard, this is the time to start putting my belly on the floor. Now, I'll show you in a second from a different angle, but from here, I scissor my legs. Now, in the no-gi, it's a little bit more of a risk to just completely stay flattened out. So from here, my whole goal is to start rising at the hips and trying to block her from going around me by high legging. So as she tries to go around, I try to high leg and capture a leg from here. Now, let's scoot this way a little bit. Now, once I capture this leg, I believe Craig Jones calls it like the false half guard. So you're kind of like in half guard, but you're not really, okay? There's many different ways that we can go from here. If there's this open gap from here with her open hands, I can turn this back into a dogfight situation. If she locks a seatbelt from here, okay, which she's unable to now, but now if, let's say I lose a hand for whatever reason, same thing. I'm always trying to get this elbow back inside and look to get to this tight waist situation. So oftentimes what our opponent's going to do is they're going to get like a kind of like a Russian tie in a way right here where they're cupping the bicep. So if I try to score that underhook, I can't. So a really good option from here that I like to do is I'll release the wrist and I'll start to tripod my head to the floor. As I tripod my head to the floor, I'm going to overwrap her leg and knock her over with my hips here. And as I knock her over, my whole thing is to start walking around the legs and trying to keep them elevated here. Now, what tends to happen is we get to this false half position. I have this wrist here, right? As I try to get to this overwrap, oftentimes they'll push back into you. And from here, we'll look to secure the wrist, roll them through into a maki komi. And now my whole thing is to start getting my elbow down to the floor and start turning into her here like so. Okay. Now, once again, let's turn this way so you guys can see the leg work. We're here. They were able to score an underhook on us. So I don't stay with my hand out here. I'm trying to find a way to get it across. And as they're passing, I'm bellying down and rising at the hips here. Immediately, I'm looking to start high legging over and not letting her step. And I'm always looking to capture this leg here. And now from here, if I can get to my tight waist, great. If not, I'm looking to overwrap the leg, start taking her over, or start rolling her through into maki komis, just like so. Okay, now, another good idea that we can play with, okay, and again, these are guard retention concepts for those that are less flexible and uncoordinated like me. Okay, so from here, let's say I'm doing a very good job of denying her the underhook. Sometimes you'll get someone who will take a collar tie, right? So now we can't really look for that wrist. Okay, if we can break it, great. But sometimes they use speed-based methods where they start cutting their knee to the floor and trying to blast past your guard here. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll take the inside of my forearm and elbow and start placing it on the outside of her knee. So as she goes to do that same knee cut, I take her further than she wants to go. Now no flexibility is required. I can now connect my knee to my elbow as she tries to stabilize. I keep everything in nice and tight. And now I can start extending and getting my guard back into action. Versus other methods I'm sure you've looked at from knee cuts, right? You usually rely on shoulder posting and high legging over like so. Okay, so again, just a quick recap. If they don't have an underhook, I'm usually looking to keep my elbow to the inside If I feel like I start losing that underhook battle, I'm looking to control this far wrist. So as she punches an underhook, I can always belly down, start to build height, and look, it's all about keeping my hips higher than hers, so I can try to capture her leg here. And now as I go to capture, I'm looking to go back to dog, overwrap, or maki komis. Okay, now the biggest question I get when I teach this position is people locking up a seatbelt. Go ahead, locking up a seatbelt. If she tries to like go right into a rear naked, right, obviously there's a possible threat. So as soon as I feel that rear naked, go ahead, I start tipping them over, and now they lose the angle to get you there. Worst case scenario, she locks in the rear naked, I immediately maki komi her over, and as you see, she almost face planted. Or maybe she did, I don't know. But yeah, try those concepts out, let me know what you think.